What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick review for you of a pretty cool knife. This one on loan to me by Mr. Eddie. He's linked down in the description. One of the many channels that have definitely helped me out. This one is the Spyderco Military 2. If you want to check out Mr. Eddie, it's Mr. Eddie _411 on Instagram. He does some pretty cool fixed blades. He does a little modding, does a little bit of everything. He's got quite a nice folder collection. So, yeah, definitely go check him out. Before I get into the review, thank you guys for watching the channel. Thanks for being subscribers. Hit the like button if you like the content, like right down below. Hit subscribe if you want to listen to me ramble more, and come to the live streams and pay me a visit if you want. Try to do them every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Usually when I do the lives, but yeah, I really appreciate that. So, without further ado, the Spyderco Military 2. Now, this is not the paramilitary 2, obviously. I guess to some it would be obvious. I don't know. So, to some it might not be. I mean, maybe this is your first time looking at a Spyderco military or a Spyderco knife or even a folding knife in general. But yeah, this has been a long-standing Spyderco knife the military has. Now, the military was one of the first knives in that series, or maybe the first knife in that series. I'm not sure. The original was a liner lock, and this one has some renovations, some enough changes about it, I guess, to where you could, to where they chose to name it the Military 2. So they changed the lock to a compression lock. It also offers tip up and tip down and tip up, left or right-handed carry. See, it's mounted right now for right-handed tip up, but you can easily swap that clip here, here, or here, depending on which way you prefer to carry your knives. The way it's mounted right now is how I would normally carry it, you know, right-handed tip up. Get the fingerprints off of there, which I'm sure I'll have to do again, but yeah, satin's kind of a magnet for fingerprints, it seems like. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is a really large folder, as you can see right here. Definitely what I would call maybe an XL folder, a little bit above the large size. 9.5 inches overall length. The blade length on it, if you're going all the way to where the handle meets up with the scale, back on that finger choil, about 4 1/4 almost, maybe 4 1/8, 4 3/16, something like that. Sharpened edge length, you are looking at 3 3/4 on the sharpened edge length. Definitely every bit of a full-size knife. Go ahead and do those on. Go ahead and do blade stock thickness, 144 thousandths, thickest part of the spine, and it's a full flat grind. Go down here behind the edge, you're looking at right at 30 thousandths right there. Is that 30 thousandths? Let's see. Make sure these are wiped off. First of all, zero them out, right? All right, open them back up. 29, right at 29 thousandths. All right, handle thickness, 450 thousandths, under half an inch. It is a fairly slicey knife, just like its predecessors, you know. I get a piece of paper out, demonstrate that, or show it slicing paper at least, you know. It doesn't really show a whole lot, but it is super smooth, man. Really good slicer. Factory edge from Spyderco. Works pretty good. All right. Get this paper out of the way. All right. Let's do some size comparisons. Do the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. Bigger than both. Even the Rat 1. The length department anyway. Cold Steel Knives 8010, and the Demco Knives 8020.5. That's a slicer version right there. So longer than both, not quite as bulky as the 8010. You know, you can kind of See, it's not quite as thick as the 8010, but still longer than the 8010. So let's get out a couple of, I guess, larger size Spyderco knives. These are large. These aren't, you know, or this one's a large. It's not an XL. That's the Shaman. All right, and here is the Spyderco Manix 2 XL. Now this is the XL Manix 2. Still not as large, not as long, as you can see there. Not quite as long as the Military 2. And we'll get out, it's I guess you could call it, it's son and grandson, I don't know. Here's the Military 2, Paramilitary 2, alright, and the Para 3. So you're looking at the size differences there. I mean, these all come in all different kinds of steels and, you know, blade materials, but as far as the length and everything goes, it would be in the order of military, paramilitary 2, para 3. That's pretty much how the order of things goes with that. A few little other differences. I was going to do a comparison video with the 3, so definitely go over a lot more differences there. But you can definitely tell this thing is an XL knife, 100% for sure. We'll get out the scale, see what we got as far as ounce to inch ratio. Military 2, 4.3 ounces, not too far over an ounce an inch, really. Right at it. If you go with the blade going all the way back to the handle scales length, so actually pretty good there on that end. A little bit of milling, a little bit of internal milling on those liners. Alright, carryability, or what it looks like with the old blue jeans, I guess. Be the less technical way to say it. So standard Spyderco clip. I wish they'd update their clips, you know, but I mean, it's not horrible. It's just, you know, there's a big market for aftermarket Spyderco clips for a reason, you know. We get this little section of blue jeans out of here. Tends to be a little bit grabby there. I'll get that out later. Miss ready to have a field day watching this. Alright, so did the weight, did the size comparisons, did the measurements. Let's do hardware check. That'll be like the last spec we got going on here. This is a T8. I think it's T8. Yeah, T8 on the body screws. Yeah. Clip, I believe, is a T6. Yeah. And I think, not positive on this, but I think the pivot is a T10. No? Maybe bigger than that. Let's see what else I got. T15. This is a T15. Yeah, T15. Okay, so went with a larger size. That's awesome. Wish it was a single-sided captive pivot. It might have a D-shaped pivot barrel in there. You know, if it does, the other one coming out shouldn't be an issue. Still kind of a bummer that that they went with T6 on the pocket clip and T8 on the body screws. I don't see why they couldn't have just went with, you know, T8 across the board or T15 across the board. Wouldn't that be cool? But yeah, so if you use the T6 for the pocket clip, you know, if you want to move the pocket clip around, just keep in mind that you know, you're using a T6. It's a lot easier to strip out than a lot of other larger sizes, which are also, as many of you who have watched the channel before, or my MSI video, you know, also that is very possible to strip out a larger screw like a T20. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so the G10, standard Spyderco G10 that comes with the Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3. I personally have no issues with it. It's a little gritty, you know, a little rough, but not the worst. Not really the best G10 that I've felt, but not the worst, you know, so no issues with that. Thumb hump right there, ergonomics on it. Got a little jimping right there. Got a little jimping under here for your hand. I wear a large size glove. I have, I guess, average size hands. Still got plenty of room a ton of room choked up, and still got room choked back even, you know, even choked back. I mean, you can see definitely a lot of room right there. Very large handle for sure. Choked up, still got a ton of extra room on the bottom down here. Lanyard hole, you know, of course, takes priority over the pocket clip on these. I don't know what's up with that. I wish they'd just eliminate that altogether, but they do sell lanyard beads and lanyards, so you know, maybe that's why. And there are a couple of people out there that do like lanyards, and if you do, there you go. S30V standard steel. I don't know why they've swapped over to S45VN, which is an awesome steel. Nothing wrong with S30V. S30V, a good steel. S45VN, I feel, is a little bit better, you know. Not really a big issue there. S30V is still well above a, you know, budget steel. I mean, there's nothing wrong at all with that. And Spyderco has essentially perfected S30V, it seems like, with the heat treat and their use of it with the geometry and everything. So, really awesome amount of S30V there, you know. You got quite a good bit of cutting edge that lasts a good long time. No sharpening tool right there, so you can actually make one, you know, if you want to kind of adjust that, but I wouldn't recommend that myself. A little bit more narrow, you know, in the blade and the, you know, the overall profile of it. A little bit more narrow, it seems like, than the Para 3 and Paramilitary 2. Not quite as broad. That spoonbill, or that, not spoonbill, that little bird's eye looking pelican hump thing there, you know, seems to be a little more narrow. Very comfortable knife in hand, you know, no issues there. It is essentially just a larger version of the Paramilitary 2 and a lot larger version of the Para 3, right? So, the action is fairly good, you know. It's running on phosphor bronze. It's got that classic Paramilitary 2 Para 3 action on it. Can't really see them there. You can see them actually through the holes, right, if you look through there. But it's run on phosphor bronze. As soon as you push down that compression lock, you know, it will go down. You know, you release it, it'll you can kind of shake it down a little bit. Middle finger flick, Spidey flick works great on it. You know, slow roll, thumb flick works great on it. So just an overall standard, you know, I would say, for Spyderco. Really good knife. I'll put it on my most recommended knives playlist. It's going to be in the Made in USA playlist and the Spyderco playlist. These are made in Golden, Colorado, which is in the USA, which is on the planet Earth right there. It's an Eric and Sal Glesser design. So yeah, really cool knife. Look forward to doing the comparison video. Also keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming out soon. Probably going to try to release that one maybe on the weekend or something. Be a little longer than some normal videos. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate Mr. Eddie for letting me borrow this awesome knife. And hit the like button if you like the content. Hit subscribe if you want to listen to me ramble more about knives, and let me know what you think. I mean, what's your favorite version of the Spyderco military? The military 2, the Para 3, the Paramilitary 2. What do you prefer out of all of those, if any of them? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know what you guys think about it. And yeah, appreciate y'all watching, and until next time, y'all stay sharp.